What's an industry secret in the field you work in? Auto insurance agent. Please, for the love of God, don't tell auto insurance agents more than you have to. They ask you a question. Just say yes or no and answer the question as straight as you can. If you go on and on about your life story, you will probably end up saying something you don't have to, and making your rate higher, or getting yourself declined. We want to get you that policy as cheap as possible. Only tell us what we need to know, and don't say anything else. As an auto insurance claims adjuster, I second this. And buy coverage that protects you. You get what you pay for. 10k property damage liability doesn't cover crap anymore. I'm shocked anyone is selling or buying coverages that low. That's basically the same as being uninsured. The fruits and veggies you buy at the grocery store, wash them. There are people that don't wash fruit and vegetables from the store before eating them. Also, I highly recommend not putting something you intend to eat directly on the conveyor belt at the register. That thing is not necessarily sanitary. People put money and sneeze on it all the time. I work in a grocery store and never put food directly on the belt. Where else is there to put it? This doesn't make any sense. I'm a dentist. Here's a lowdown on toothpaste. As long as it has fluoride, they are all basically the same. When I was in dental school, the Colgate lady came by and said that everything that says Colgate Total on it is all exactly the same. The only difference is the packaging. So whether it says whitening or gum protection or whatever else, it is all exactly the same. The exception is sensitivity. Toothpaste typically does have an extra active ingredient, No3, which helps with sensitivity. Don't ever feel obligated to buy the expensive toothpaste because you think it will be better for your teeth. Just buy whatever you like best. But the toothpaste I buy at the dentist, Clinpro, is different, correct? Yes, Clinpro, a prescription toothpaste, has a higher percentage of fluoride, which makes it better for people who tend to get cavities. Library worker here. The majority of donations we receive do not end up in circulation on our shelves. No matter how much you demand, we put them there once they are donated. The reason why this is because we only add items to the collection that we think will circulate, be checked out. Most libraries get funding based off of statistics. We don't want to waste shelf space on items that people aren't checking out, as it won't improve our stats. So, unless the donated items are brand new or by popular authors, we will not add them to the collection. We will also weed unpopular items from our collection with extreme prejudice for this reason, much to our patrons' horror. These books usually end up being sold at book sales to help generate funding for other library programs. Dude, I love the local library's annual book sale. They do it 4th of July weekend, as this is a touristy area, and it's like a 50 cents for paperbacks and $1 for hardcover. Sad as I am that they aren't doing it this year, I'm pretty excited because that means it'll be huge next year. This kind of wistfulness for a book sale is the most wholesome thing I've read today. A lot of librarians will waive your fines if you have an excuse and you don't ask too frequently, even large fines. Also, librarians don't care about your fines and aren't judging you. Please come back. We personally have more fines than you. Librarians are always overdue with their books. I don't know if you're from US, but I'm new to US. Everything, rent, banks, car rentals, universities etc seems to want to overcharge and wrench the last cent out of you for minor forgivable reasons. Except for libraries. I was late on a book a few days, wasn't charged. I love the libraries and the library system. They also try their best to get you a book from other locations, and librarians are generally kind and polite. Library cards are free. You enter a library and nobody judges you etc for anything. They also recommend not to get our research published with predatory journals etc. You are awesome. The world is in debt of your services. Seriously, support your local library. They do so much good on a budget of peanuts. It's insane. Those book transfers between libraries are not cheap. Fuel costs money. Not an industry I work in per se, but I used to be in a sales role. One of my customers was a milk bottling plant. I was somewhat surprised that they were putting the exact same milk in both organic and non-organic cartons. Turns out all of their milk is organic. But in order to not miss out on the sales of non-organic milk, they just bottle them differently and sell them at different prices. This one is both startling and interesting. It's efficient that way. You have the ability to legally sell the same product for different amounts. One of those products is essentially pure profit. Not having the requirements doesn't mean that you don't have the benefits. Former industry, commercial radio. It's never caller 5. It's the caller who sounds best on air. I won something on the radio once. The lady DJ called me back on a few minutes. She forgot to record the call. She told me to act excited. It was hilarious. She blamed it on being pregnant, said she had lost her mind. I won Rolling Stones tickets once. The concert had been sold out for months. Winning tickets was supposed to be a big deal. They didn't like my phone recording, so they asked me to come in, and they would give me an entire prize package on the air. Got there, they had a box of CDs, t-shirts, gift certificates and other crap. Got me on the air live. I panicked. They were looking for excitement. They got a mumbling 18-year-old. When they asked me what my favorite Rolling Stones song was, I said, and I quote, I don't know. Probably Fortunate Son or Proud Mary, not Stones songs. 3 DJs in the room just went silent before just going to commercial. They pulled my tickets out of the prize box, handed them to me, and led me out the door. 30 years later, one of those DJs is back on the air locally, and he's told the story on the air several times. All was good with me. I scalped the tickets for $200. You'd be surprised how willingly someone will do their job and even go above and beyond if you just compliment them for their professionalism, politeness and how they are helping them. As a cashier, I'm not even ashamed to admit that I will do more for you if you tell me I'm being helpful. I've had so many free upgrades, like a large coffee when I asked for a medium, or extra food on the plate from just being super polite and friendly. I go really overboard if the customer in front was being rude as well. It's a win-win. I also don't understand the mentality of talking down to someone who's serving me. I mean, without them, I wouldn't get served. Used to screen resumes for small companies. Job requirements are more of a wish list situation. Never let some unchecked boxes deter you from applying. You have no idea what the applicant pool is like. The biggest boon, especially at small companies, is someone who legitimately cares. Literally got a job last week that I was unqualified for. I said, frick it, I'm running out of places to apply. Let's give it a shot. Couple days later they replied, set up an interview, and I somehow have a job tomorrow morning during a pandemic. Just go for it, can't hurt you. Construction boy here. If your windows or sliding doors are tough to open and close 9 times out of 10, we put your own dish soap on tracks and the thing works perfectly. It takes 5 minutes and we charge $150. Dish soap people, it's better than WD-40 sometimes. Literally not 5 minutes ago I was closing the slider in my bedroom thinking it's time I finally look up solutions to make this thing glide easier. So I hopped on the internet, naturally got distracted by Reddit first, and now here we are. So serendipitous. A lot of successful artists at a certain level of success do nothing more than create a concept and employ several assistants, who are either current or graduating art students, who actually make the art itself, its reproductions or both. Can 100% vouch for this. I make about the salary of a teacher, less, creating artwork every day for a recognized contemporary sculptor, who then picks up the work from me at the studio, and then sells what I made for hundreds of thousands. But hey man, his idea. TBH they wouldn't buy it unless it had some stupid name attached to it that they recognize instead of actually appreciating art. If you order a pizza, but like to choose your own toppings, it's often cheaper to choose an existing pizza like a meat supreme or something with loads of toppings, then swap out all the toppings for ones you want, than to go for the create your own option in the menu. Note, this is much less awkward if you order online than on the phone. There's a certain pizza chain website that I discovered will let you apply coupons on pizzas that aren't covered by the coupon. If you mess with it a bit you can stack coupons, sub out ingredients, and get your order down to about 50-60% of the original price, even if you don't have coupons that cover what you've actually ordered. then pay online, and pick up in person. I doubt a human ever actually checks your total in the process. There was a McDonald's hack for this, on a touchscreen menu. Basically by deconstructing the sandwiches you ended up with an extra 10 cents off. Burger is like 1.50, but discounts were 1.60. So if you order that 15 times, people could get a full one free of charge. As a former TSA worker, airport security is out of theater. TSA is constantly failing plainclothes inspections. I worked with a guy who got fired because someone showed him an ID with a picture of Mickey Mouse on it, and he let the person through because he wasn't paying attention. Color me completely unsurprised. Actually, I'm pretty surprised that the guy got fired at all. Firefighters are trained on several areas and can specialize deeper into certain disciplines. Most of the emergencies we get called to are situations we have never been trained on, but with 4 of us on a fire truck we can normally figure out a solution. In my county, a girl got stuck in a clothes washer. I wasn't on the call, but there's a video of it online. I remember doing car extrication in the academy, but not washer extrication. Oh, step firefighter bro. Weight loss industry. This might be obvious, but most of our business comes from return clients after they've gained their weight back, and then some. To be clear, the plan isn't rigged to make you gain it back, but the fact that it happens easily as a result of dieting keeps us in business. This is why weight loss is so hard. Gotta change your lifestyle permanently, not just for a few months. The real problem is people think of the word diet as temporary eating less rather than making permanent changes. They'll go on a diet, drop a few pounds, come off the diet, and go right back to where they were. Teacher, the parents are more of a hassle than the students. I doubt that is a secret, but there it is. I know a few teachers and this seems to be a pretty common view. One said 30% of his job is teaching, 30% is unnecessary school admin, and 40% is dealing with parents who think their spoiled little crap is a victim of some conspiracy. The ratio is nowhere near that, but when you teach in a region where the majority is uneducated, they tend to undervalue education and pass that on to their kids. Former Bath and Body Works associate here. The scent they discontinue will come back with a different name and new marketing. They are just recycling the scents. I worked for the biggest Mast, the company that owns Bath and Body Works and is a division of L Brand, contractor in Virginia for 8 years. There are so many fragrances that are rebranded and recolored to a different flavor. Fragrance oil is absolutely 100% the most expensive part of any shower gel or foaming soaps we made. Odds are they have hundreds of thousands of pounds of these oils in warehouses all over the US, so they just rebrand it as something else. It's not like they are going to scrap it. Also, all this crap you see on the labels of shower gels and foaming soaps that say enriched with vitamin E or contains aloe vera extract is complete absolute freaking bullcrap. We made our batches in sizes of 40,000 lbs. In a 40k pounds batch, you had about 2 ounces of vitamin E you would add to the batch, and barely enough aloe extracts to even get it out of the cup to add it to the batch. They add the absolute bare minimum to have it on the label, as required by FDA. Foaming soaps are also about 65% water, so they make an absolute killing selling them. A huge portion of online reviews, ratings, social media presence, etc. that you see for any given company are fake, paid for, or done by multiple accounts controlled by us. This includes the company's Glassdoor page, fake reviews about how great it is to work there, so that the million negative reviews don't crush their page. I'm not saying it's every company out there, but it's been a lot of the ones I've worked for. Source: am copywriter. What are ethics? I surely don't know anymore. Can confirm on Glassdoor had a company-wide initiative from the higher-ups to post positive reviews of our workplace. BC it was getting hammered by negative reviews. For a while you could tell the fake positive ones because looking at the dates they were posted. Suddenly a dozen positive reviews on the same date. Yep, all planted. It's also a dead giveaway when the pros are unbelievably positive to the point of absurdity and the cons are either none or my personally most hated. This job is not for everyone. You won't do well if you aren't comfortable in a fast-paced, demanding environment or some variation thereof. It's a lame attempt to brush the preceding negative reviews under the rug by saying those workers were just lazy or incompetent without actually addressing their issues, and also tells me the place is a hellish nightmare to work for. I'm a teacher. If you as a parent will read with your child often and early, your child will thrive in school. I'm talking daily books read together from newborn to about 3rd grade. Every single day. No teacher can replace that. I have told parents and other teachers that 5 minutes a night at home saves us 5 years of trouble in the classroom. I don't have reading problems with most of the students who have been read to at home. But almost every student who doesn't get read to, we're having to do a lot of work to get them to where they need to be. It's one reason why the education gap is pretty well defined by the wealth gap. Poorer families and especially single parent families often have far less time between parent and child in the evening, especially if the parents are working more than one job. Audio engineer here. A few seemingly obvious things to point out. 9/10 times with a studio you get what you pay for. You have to pay 4 years of experience, acclaimed expertise, plus hundreds of thousands of dollars in equipment and software tools, not to mention the hundreds of thousands of dollars that went into the acoustic engineering of the physical recording space alone. People walk into great studios balk at $1,000 plus a song, but don't realize they're getting access to close to $1 million in tools, plus an engineer who's going to make them sound better than life. On the flip side of that coin, beware of eye candy. Don't be fooled by big mixing consoles. Sometimes they are not even used for your music. Hell, sometimes they don't even function. I've seen studios where the sole purpose of a large board is to dupe unsuspecting musicians into parting with their money. In larger studios, bands with smaller budgets are often stuck with an intern who may not even be getting paid. If your music is crap, no amount of production is going to make it a hit. As a small studio owner, I only share work that I think will bring me more business. Wondering why I haven't shared your music? It's because it's garbage. Billie Eilish recorded on budget equipment at home with her brother. Those recordings were then worked on by some of the best engineers in the world to make it sound like it wasn't. Be wary of a record label. They may offer to front the costs of your recording and touring, but you have no creative control over your sound, where you record, your tour schedule, and usually the label will own your music. Oh, and you have to pay all of that money back to the label. Be cautious of studios that claim so and so recorded here. There's a studio in Iowa that claims Slipknot recorded here, and while it's true, Slipknot did record in that building, it was a different owner, different engineers, and some different equipment. You're not going to sound like Slipknot by recording there, sorry. Worked at a department store photography studio owned by a major photography company that you can imagine probably took your school yearbook photos. The company also is partnered with a popular online photo order website. Notice how quickly we write down a price, strike it out, and write a new price as a deal? Yeah, that's pretty much just the price that everyone gets. We aren't doing the math that fast. We have it memorized, because almost everyone that comes in has that 40% off coupon. Don't come in without a coupon. There is always a coupon on the website. If you end up paying for sitting fees, it's because you just didn't go on our website. Honestly, don't buy our photos. If you just do the session and say that you'll buy them online later on said partnered photo order site, it'll be cheaper than if you buy them in store that day. Yes, even when we say oh, but you won't get this deal online. If you do buy in studio that day, just buy the digital CD of your photos. You get to keep all of them instead of having to pick your favorite 3-4 pictures. Oh, and again, it is way cheaper to take that CD to a photo kiosk and have them printed yourself. Please don't spend $400 on a couple photos that you can't legally copy when you could have gotten an $80 CD of all the photos and have the copyright to them.